Before the world ended, Jake was called the best treasure hunter in the world. Whether it was a 100-year-old treasure or something hidden in an unknown place, Jake always found it. He loved underwater treasures the most, because there he could work his own way. No boss, no orders, just his own rules. But one day, everything changed. A deadly solar flare burned the Earth. All electronic devices were destroyed and governments collapsed. The world fell into chaos. New warlords started ruling the lands. Cities were filled with hunger, diseases, and violence. Money had no value anymore, and getting medicine or fuel became impossible. 6 years later, Jake was still hunting for treasures in England. He reached an old area, looked around carefully, and entered an abandoned hotel building. Climbing the stairs, he reached the penthouse, where a huge bookshelf stood. He examined it closely and found a hidden door. He quickly set small explosives, and with a loud blast, the steel door opened. It was dark inside, so he connected a small battery light. In front of him was a safe that needed a password. Jake's sharp eyes noticed fingerprints on the buttons. He wrote the letters in his notebook and figured out the password. When the safe opened, he found a collection of old record discs. He played the record that matched the password, and suddenly another part of the wall opened. Inside was another safe, and in it was a very valuable violin. But just then, some people dressed in police uniforms burst into the room and demanded the violin. Jake refused and pulled out his gun. They tried to attack him, and a shootout began. Jake, lightning fast, killed them one by one. When he ran out of bullets, he threw a blade into a man's back. Their leader pulled the blade out, but Jake showed him the middle finger. At that exact moment, the small explosive inside the blade went off, killing the leader too. After that, Jake reached a grand mansion, now turned into a factory, guarded by armed soldiers. He handed the violin to King August's assistant. She told him that August had another job for him. Jake found it strange. A warlord calling himself a king? He refused the offer because the job required him to cross the channel. When August heard that Jake had said no, he told his assistant, "Make him an offer he can't refuse." Back home, Jake went to his broken boat, his only home now. He avoided traps he had set along the way, went inside, and fed his dog. Then he looked at his trophies. Among them was a record, which he played while drinking and falling asleep peacefully. In his dream, he sailed around the world on a new boat. The next morning, noise woke him up. When he went outside, he saw a soldier caught in one of his traps. The soldier said, "The king himself has come to meet you." Jake didn't help him, he just left the boat. He reached a warehouse, where August was waiting with dozens of soldiers. August said he had hired many people, but none had the skill Jake had. He explained that he was trying to rebuild civilization. Jake still wasn't interested, but when August showed him the reward, a brand new shining boat, Jake stopped and stared. The mission, bring back the Mona Lisa. That painting was now kept inside a secret government storage. August explained that when Paris was first destroyed, the government hid all national treasures somewhere safe. He promised Jake, "You'll get food, supplies, and everything you need." Finally, Jake agreed to take the mission. He said goodbye to his dog and told the assistant, "If I don't come back, take care of him." Later, he arrived at an airport and got nervous seeing the old bullet-ridden plane. August gave him a map, explained the route, where to go, and which rebel territories to avoid. Once he reached Paris, August's contact would meet him and guide him to the Mona Lisa. After securing the painting, August would send an evacuation drop 3 hours later. In the evening, Jake boarded the plane. The young pilot confidently said, "Everything's running fine." But during the flight, Jake noticed him struggling with the controls again and again. The pilot admitted, "We'll run out of fuel halfway. Keep your parachute ready." Jake asked, "I've never used one before. Any tips?" The pilot smiled, "Just jump." Jake dozed off and saw the same dream again. A new boat, open sea, and this time a woman beside him. Suddenly, the plane jolted. It was shaking. He woke up and saw they were under attack. The pilot tried to save the plane but shouted, "We have to jump now." As soon as there was an opening, Jake jumped, opened his parachute, and after a long fall, crashed painfully to the ground. When he opened his eyes, he saw fire and smoke everywhere. Rebel corpses were hanging from poles. They had been executed. Just then, a tank broke through a wall and aimed straight at him, but before it could fire, a missile hit the tank and blew it up. Some rebels ran out from the buildings and threw grenades into the burning tank. The tank exploded, the soldiers died, the rebels ran away, and then Jake moved forward. Meanwhile, in the city of Amiens, warlord Vulov ruled with an iron hand. His soldiers terrorized the streets. Vulov loved playing chess. He said it taught war strategy. He forced local citizens to play with him. When one man said he didn't know how to play, Vulov shot him without hesitation. At that moment, his right-hand man, Gorich, came in and said, "A man with a parachute was spotted." He sent his men to find that mysterious man they saw jumping from the plane. By morning, Jake reached a town called St. Quentin. The people there lived in poverty and fear of Vulov. Jake went behind a car, took out some old clothes, and changed to hide his expensive outfit. In the town square, soldiers were reminding everyone of the strict rules, curfew, and harsh punishment for any mistake. To prove it, they shot 2 rebels right there in front of everyone. Jake slowly tried to walk away, but some soldiers surrounded him. They ordered him to drop his bag. Jake threw the bag at one soldier's face, and a fight began. He trapped one soldier's hand in the car door, smashed another soldier's head into a window. One soldier attacked with a knife, but Jake blocked it and stabbed him with his own blade. Within seconds, all the soldiers were down on the ground. Jake was about to leave when another soldier appeared behind him with a gun, but suddenly someone slit the soldier's throat. It was Drea, the contact agent sent by August. She tells him that she had been watching Jake from the very beginning, but she didn't help because she wanted to see if he could handle the situations on his own. Because even more dangerous situations were coming. Both of them quickly hide in the crowd and start leaving the city, but a general spots them. Jake and Drea enter a church where they meet Father Samson, who has brought an important map from recently killed rebels. Samson takes them to his garage and shows them a truck he has been working on. On the map, he points to the next location, where a secret code is written in a corner. While Samson prepares the truck, Drea tends to Jake's wounds. Meanwhile, the general and his army surround the church and order everyone to come out. Jake and Drea run toward the truck, while Samson steps outside to distract the general with words. The soldiers don't believe him and enter the church. Samson takes the opportunity and shoots the general in the hand, but is immediately killed in the gunfire. Inside, the soldiers reach the garage. They see Jake in the truck, but Drea attacks them from behind. She shoots quickly, strikes with a knife, and in moments, eliminates all of them. Outside, the soldiers are so busy firing at Samson that they don't hear the noises inside, but as soon as Jake starts the truck, the radio blares loudly, drawing everyone's attention toward them. A tank fires at the church, but at that exact moment, Jake and Drea break the garage door with the truck and escape. The soldiers shoot at them, but Jake quickly realizes the truck is bulletproof. He drives the truck straight off a ramp, jumps over the tank, and moves ahead. Soldiers chase them on bikes. At a checkpoint, guards start firing, but Jake quickly flips the truck. The guards scatter in fear. Ahead, another vehicle blocks their path, so Jake is forced to drive the truck into a building. From behind, the tank fires another shot, which hits a car, and the car falls onto the road, crushing some bikers. Jake quickly steers the truck, and Drea leads him toward a tunnel. 2 bikers are still chasing them, but as soon as they exit the tunnel, another tank awaits them. The tank's shot narrowly misses. Drea throws a grenade, sending the bikers flying. Then Jake flips the truck, and the next tank shot destroys the pursuers. Finally, they reach Soily and breathe a sigh of relief. At night, sitting by a fire, Jake thinks, why are people willing to die for a painting? Drea smiles and explains, that painting is just an excuse that vault contains weapons, which the rebel army can use to fight Vulov. She knows Jake dreams of traveling the world, so she gives him a small paper boat, saying, good luck. The next day, Vulov arrives in St. Quentin on his fast train. The general tells him that only 2 people defeated the entire army and killed the priest, but instead of thanking him, Vulov, on Gorich's signal, kills the general. Meanwhile, Jake and Drea reach the old building in Soily, where the vault should be. Drea is worried because this area is controlled by wraiths, cannibalistic criminals. Suddenly, a flare fires nearby, meaning someone is chasing them. They go inside. Blood stains the walls, and the vault is open and empty. Jake immediately understands that things were removed recently. They reach the upper floor where bullet marks are visible. Jake says, the guards must have fought the last battle here. While searching the office, he finds a notebook behind a fake wall. Drea reads the French notes in it and extracts some coordinates, but Jake suspects. The real location of such a valuable treasure won't be left like this. He decodes the actual location from the map's code, and finally a name appears. Then wraiths enter the building. Jake attaches a grenade to the door and exits through a window. As soon as the door opens, the explosion occurs and all the wraiths are blown away. Sitting in the truck, Drea sends a radio message to the rebels. Meet at Simsov. Meanwhile, Vulov's train reaches Soily. Seeing the truck tire tracks, he realizes who went there. Gorich gets the notebook, but Vulov quickly notices it is fake. He uses UV light to check Drea's fingerprints and discovers the real location, Simshov. He thanks the wraith who followed and then shoots him. Finally, Jake and Drea reach Simshov. Drea cuts the chains and opens the gate. Inside, Jake feels something strange. Such a big fortress, but no security. Some machines are still running inside. Jake guesses there are solar panels here. Drea checks the blueprints and says the noise is from the air filtration system, which means the vault is still sealed. Jake looks at the blueprints and makes a plan. He will go inside through the air duct, although a large fan blade blocks the way. Drea agrees to find the solar panels to turn off the fan, while Jake moves ahead. On the upper floor, Jake finds a rope. He ties it to a valve and cuts his bag to make a harness. Now he begins to descend the shaft using the rope. Below, he sees a spinning large fan, so he must be very careful. But the constant friction on the rope starts to weaken it slowly. At the same time, Drea reaches the area with the solar panels and starts shooting. The first shot misses, but the second hits the target. The panels shut down and the fan stops, just as Jake reaches the bottom. After a difficult landing, Jake checks the air duct and sees it is completely filled with water. He takes a deep breath and jumps in, swimming quickly. Finally, he finds a hatch, but it is locked. Jake pushes it hard and manages to open it just in time. Otherwise, he would have drowned. Now Jake reaches the vault and opens the inner door so Drea can enter. Inside, Jake sees that the Mona Lisa is actually a nuclear bomb with the famous painting on it. He is shocked, but Drea already knew. August hadn't told her because if Jake knew the truth, he wouldn't have helped, and Jake accepts this. Drea explains that when America dropped bombs on Japan, they had also saved one bomb for Moscow. She says August doesn't want to use it, just keep it away from warlords like Vulov, but Jake feels no warlord can be trusted, neither Vulov nor August. He thinks fighting is pointless because in the end, the warlords always win. When the rebels arrive to remove the bomb, Jake drives the truck away. Soon, the train reaches Simshov and soldiers start firing. The rebels try to defend, but all are killed. Garanik fires a missile that blows up the rebels' truck. Volkov is secured and the bomb is loaded onto the train. Jake stops for a moment, looks at the small origami boat, and his heart changes. He steers the truck back to the fort where they find all the bodies, but Drea is alive. He bandages her leg wound, and Drea apologizes, saying he was right, fighting is useless now. But Jake says that if they bring down Vulov's train, he can be stopped. They gather explosives, and Jake sets up a special trap. Then they leave the truck, and the fort explodes behind them. In the evening, the train slows due to low visibility. Volkov angrily shoots the conductor and speeds up the train. At the same time, Jake and Drea reach a bridge. When the train passes, Jake jumps onto it. He opens a door and throws grenades, killing many guards. He fights the remaining soldiers, grabs their guns, and fires. Then Gorich joins the fight, much stronger than the other thugs. He pushes Jake near the bomb, but Jake counters by hitting him in the groin. The fight continues until Volkov arrives and opens fire. Jake uses Gorich as a shield and charges at Volkov. They have an intense fight. Finally, Jake pushes him onto a table and stabs a compass into his palm, taking the safety off the bomb. Meanwhile, Drea reaches the bridge ahead and sets explosives. As the train reaches there, the explosion occurs and the bridge is destroyed. Volkov tries to stop the train, but it is too late. The train falls into the gorge, exploding multiple times. Drea cries, thinking Jake is dead. But then Jake comes from behind, and they hug each other. Sometime later in England, Jake gives the safety to August and says the bomb is now under the gorge. Only Kay can detonate it, but August still plans to bring it back. Jake doesn't want any more missions. He takes his new boat and sets off. Drea goes with him, and they kiss each other as the boat slowly sails toward the sea. Meanwhile, August keeps the safety key in his vault, where it is revealed that he already had the real Mona Lisa. So friends, I hope you liked this video. If you liked the video, then like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Till then, bye.